You are listening to the Coins, Currency, and American History podcast, presented by Littleton Coin Company.
Every great civilization leaves behind its ruins, its art, and its heroes. But the story of America can be told through something smaller, something we can hold in our hands. A coin. Coins are the fingerprints of a nation. This is the story of the United States of America. From colonies to social experiment to global economic leader.
Episode 31. 1970s Stagflation and the 80s Finance Boom. The 1970s opened with a sense of promise. But soon enough, familiar comforts started to slip away. Gas lines stretched for blocks, prices climbed higher week after week, and the steady growth that defined the previous decades suddenly felt uncertain. It was a time when the rules of money itself seemed to change, and American coinage reflected those shifts in quiet but telling ways. By the late 1960s, the system built at Bretton Woods was under strain. Foreign governments steadily increased their holdings of U.S. dollars, and concerns grew that the United States might not be able to honor its promise to exchange them for gold at $35 an ounce. On August 15, 1971, President Richard Nixon addressed the nation. In what became known as the Nixon shock, he announced several bold measures. One of the most significant was suspending convertibility of dollars into gold. This move effectively ended the Bretton Woods system of fixed exchange rates. Major currencies that had been pegged to the dollar began to float against one another on the foreign exchange market. It was a new world of greater volatility, but also of increased flexibility. The dollar's transition to a fiat currency was complete. Its value would now rest on trust in the American economy rather than a fixed link to gold. While the nation grappled with larger economic changes, the U.S. Mint faced its own practical challenges with coin production. Silver prices had been rising, and Congress was debating a shift away from silver and half dollars to a copper-nickel-clad composition. The debate dragged on, and the Mint held off on striking large quantities of Kennedy half dollars while waiting for clarity. By the time they finally moved forward in 1970, production was limited. Only the Denver Mint struck circulation quality pieces that year, just 2.15 million of the 1970 D Kennedy half dollar, and none were released into general circulation. Instead, they went primarily into mint sets for collectors. And as a result, the 1970 D became a key date in the Kennedy half dollar series. Its low mintage and restricted distribution make it a standout favorite for collectors building date and mint mark sets today. This scarcity stands in sharp contrast to the massive output of earlier Kennedy halves and highlights how legislative delays and economic pressures could directly shape what ended up in collectors' hands. Fortunately, the 70s gave collectors other, easier coins to chase. In 1971, the United States Mint introduced the Eisenhower dollar. Its obverse, or head side, honored the late president and World War II general, while its reverse, the tail side, celebrated the Apollo 11 moon landing with an eagle landing on the lunar surface. Affectionately known as Ike dollars, these large copper-nickel-clad dollars were the first circulating dollar coins since the last peace dollars of 1935. They were minted at Philadelphia and Denver, as well as San Francisco, which also struck special 40% silver versions just for collectors, giving collectors new varieties to pursue. The U.S. economy struggled with inflation, and then came the energy crisis. Even as America's monetary system adjusted, external pressures mounted. In 1973, the OPEC oil embargo tied to the Yom Kippur War sent energy prices soaring. Lines formed at gas stations, and the cost of living skyrocketed. The economy faced something new and painful: stagflation. High inflation combined with stagnant growth and rising unemployment. It challenged old assumptions about how the economy worked. President Jimmy Carter appointed Paul Volcker as Federal Reserve Chairman in 1979, and Volcker took a firm stand. He raised interest rates sharply to break the back of inflation, even though it meant triggering a recession. By the early 1980s, inflation began to ease, and the dollar started to stabilize. Many credit Volcker's tough medicine with laying the groundwork for better times ahead. During these years, the U.S. Mint continued its work. The 1976 bicentennial brought special reverse designs to the quarter, half dollar, and Eisenhower dollar. Colonial drummers, Independence Hall, and the Liberty Bell against the moon reminded Americans of their history even amid economic challenges. Then, in 1979, the Susan B. Anthony dollar arrived. Smaller and intended for everyday use, it honored the pioneering suffragist while bearing the same Apollo 11 eagle reverse as the Eisenhower dollar. Unfortunately, the new dollars were often confused with quarters due to their similar size. The public ultimately rejected them. The Anthony dollar was discontinued after 1981, although it would return briefly in 1999. But it remains popular with collectors. It stands today as a notable piece of modern numismatic history and the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real woman. Other collector favorites from the period include low mintage proof and uncirculated sets, as well as varieties that emerged during composition changes, such as the transition and Lincoln cents. These pieces capture the era's economic transitions in tangible form. By 1981, Ronald Reagan had taken office. His economic policies, often called Reaganomics, emphasized tax cuts, reduced regulation, and focused on controlling inflation. Financial markets gained new energy, Wall Street innovations picked up pace, high-tech investments grew, and global integration deepened. The economy expanded. Consumer spending rose and new industries took shape, but this growth came with rising national and consumer debt, a trend that would shape future decades. For coin collectors, the era offered both continuity and exciting new developments. The Mint produced reliable circulating coinage, and proof sets and uncirculated sets remained popular. And in 1982, the Mint issued special half dollars, honoring the 250th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Struck in 90% silver, they marked the return of modern commemorative coins after nearly 3 decades. These pieces, minted at Denver and San Francisco, ushered in a new era of American commemorative coins. Later, in 1986, the American Eagle Bullion Coin Program was launched. These gold and silver U.S. coins offered a domestic alternative to foreign bullion pieces and quickly became popular. Both coins linked modern bullion to classic American numismatic artistry. The American Silver Eagle featured Adolph A. Weinman's Walking Liberty design on the obverse, while the gold American Eagle bore Augustus St. Gaudens's iconic Liberty design from the early 20th century double eagle. And the program has been expanded to include both platinum and palladium bullion coins. The 1970s tested the nation's resilience. From the end of the gold standard to the challenges of stagflation, Americans faced difficult choices. The bold actions of Volcker and the policy shifts under Reagan helped steer the country toward recovery and a finance-driven boom in the 1980s. Coin collectors still seek the Eisenhower and Anthony dollars, the bicentennial issues, and key dates like the 1970 D. Kennedy half dollar, as well as modern U.S. commemoratives and American Eagle bullion coins. They connect us to a time when the foundations of modern American finance took shape, and when scarcity created new opportunities for beginning and experienced collectors alike. In the next episode of Coins, Currency, and American History, the booming U.S. economy continues until the dot-com bubble bursts. It recovers and reaches new highs, but the collapse of Lehman Brothers exposes the housing bubble, triggering a financial crash and the Great Recession. Global trade stagnates until the COVID-19 pandemic forces the U.S. and other countries to re-globalize their economies. Next time, booms, busts, and COVID re-globalization. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Coins, Currency, and American History podcast presented by Littleton Coin Company. You can find out more about coins and currency in our free Learn Center at www.littletoncoin.com/learn. It's filled with fascinating facts about U.S. coins, world coins, ancient coins, paper money, and more, as well as helpful tips for collectors of all levels. You'll even find free collector guides, checklists, and virtual albums to help you get started and keep track of your growing collection. And while you're there, be sure to check out our online store. Visit www.littletoncoin.com today.